Is your face starting to sag? Are you thinking about a thread lift versus a facelift but don't know the difference or what's best for you? Let me explain. Hi, I'm Dr. Raynald Torres, Head Cosmetic Surgeon of the Raynald Center. I do both thread lifts and facelifts, and let me share my unbiased opinion on both procedures. First, let's look at the aging face. Here's a picture of a lady who has aged through the years. As you can see, compared to her before photo, there is one, loss of volume in certain structures, and there is sagging of the skin, and pigmentation on the skin that has developed through sun exposure. A thread lift would address the mechanical pulling of the face, so it would address the sagging of the skin, and also it would also deposit collagen on your skin to address the skin elasticity. First, let me explain what a surgical facelift is. A surgical facelift is the gold standard of lifting the face. It surgically tightens the skin by removing excess skin and tightening some structures on the face to lift up those muscles and fat to give you a more contoured look. It offers excellent results, especially in patients with a lot of excess skin. The disadvantage, however, of this procedure is that it's a surgical procedure. There's a longer downtime and recovery, and there may be some scarring involved. Of course, it would cost even more. Now let's talk about threads. A thread lift is a non-surgical procedure that involves inserting threads under the skin. Threads have two mechanisms of action. One is there's a slight mechanical lifting and tightening of the face, and another is biostimulation, meaning collagen is attracted by the threads. This collagen is then deposited around these threads and replaces the lost collagen under the skin. This collagen then acts as the elastic tissue, making the skin more elastic and plump. There are two types of dissolvable threads. In the past, we used permanent threads, but these had a lot of complications. Presently now, the use of dissolvable threads have re-emerged, and there are two types. These dissolvable threads are either made by PDO threads, which last about 12 months, or my personal preference, PLA threads made by Aptos, which have a little more pull and last even longer, from 1.5 years to 2 years. So the question, are they effective since they are non-surgical? There are studies that show that threads have a relatively high satisfaction rate among patients, and they are safe and effective. Overall satisfaction rate, though, is not 100%, but still relatively high and still worth the procedure. Remember that even a surgical facelift does not give 100% satisfaction. It all boils down to your expected goals and choosing the right treatment for the right condition. A thread lift is not a facelift and cannot be compared. If you have a lot of excess skin and expecting a very tight lift, then a thread lift is not for you. You might want to consider a surgical lift alternative. Patient selection is key. So who are good candidates for a thread lift? 1. Those patients with good skin elasticity and no excess skin. Try pulling your face up. If you see a slight improvement when you pull this up like this, then maybe you're a candidate for a thread lift. If you have no excess skin when you do this, then a thread lift is for you. Second, patients who are just starting to have signs of drooping or sagging of the skin. Number 3, if you're willing to repeat the procedure. However, since there's no downtime, it's worth it to do the procedures in multiple sessions. Number 4, if you have already undergone a surgical facelift and want to maintain the results. Fifth reason is if you have a lot of comorbidities and you're not a good candidate for surgery. Number 6, patients who do not want to undergo surgery. And who are candidates for a surgical facelift? 1 is patients who have excess skin and poor skin elasticity. Second, patients who have sagging and want a more drastic change. Last, of course, you should be in good health to undergo a surgical facelift. Here are some tips in lifting your face. Always choose high quality threads. Don't go for the cheap threads because they break and they don't last long. It's good to do other rejuvenating procedures together with your thread lift. I usually like combining thread lifts with fillers to address those hollow areas. Even if I do a surgical facelift, I usually address that hollow areas with fat since it's a surgical procedure anyway. It is also good to treat the skin texture, like fine wrinkles with Botox and pigmentation with lasers. Remember, aging is a continuous process and there's no way to really stop it. The key is consistency in caring for your skin, and this will provide better and long-lasting results. If you want to learn more about these procedures, please hit the comments below for any questions, like and subscribe for more.